are heading to Belgium today, but you can forget the chocolate and the beer. We're going to the city of Mons, and we're going right in the dead of winter.
We are. And we're not just looking at a travel guide. We're digging into something called Mons Lumiere.
On the surface, it's a light festival. But once you look into the history of this place, you realize it's actually this brilliant piece of storytelling.
It really is. This isn't just about, hanging some fairy lights on a tree. It's about how a city uses light as a narrative tool.
Right.
Literally using lumens to reclaim the winter darkness and highlight maybe 1,000 years of resilience.
And the vibe is totally different from what you might expect. I mean, when I hear light festival, I usually picture lasers, loud techno, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But this is built around what they call poetic restraint. It uses shadow and silence just as much as it uses light.
And that timing is intentional, right? January.
Oh, absolutely. It's the bleakest, darkest part of the year. They aren't trying to distract you from the winter. They're leaning into it. The long nights give them this perfect canvas for intimacy.
It's a serious walk, too. I think it's a 3-kilometer loop winding through the medieval center.
It is.
And the tech they're using is fascinating. You've got these massive high-lumen projection mappings on the historic buildings that are just mind-bending.
The video mapping, yeah. They can take the UNESCO-listed belfry, this huge stone tower, and visually just crumble it to dust and then rebuild it in seconds.
Wow.
You're using the architecture itself as the protagonist. But then just around the corner, you might stumble into a tiny courtyard with a subtle, interactive installation that responds to your breathing.
And doing this in January, it changes the physical experience. The cold, damp Belgian weather isn't a bug, it's a feature.
It's a feature, exactly. It sharpens your senses. You have this contrast between the freezing air on your face and the visual warmth of the lights.
And the mulled wine, obviously.
And the mulled wine. It forces you to slow down because you're navigating these old cobblestones in the dark.
Which brings us to the history, because you have to understand what you're walking on.
You really do. You can't separate the lights from the stones. The name Mons literally means mount or hill. It started as a Roman fortification. Geographically, if you control the hill, you control the valley. That's why everyone from the Romans to the Spanish to the Austrians wanted it.
So when you're walking that route, you're basically hiking up an ancient fortress.
That's it. And the spiritual heart of that fortress is the Collegiate Church of St. Waltraud. She was a 7th century noblewoman who essentially founded the city.
So her shrine is still central to the town's identity.
It's the emotional center. So when you see these modern light projections hitting those ancient walls, you're literally seeing a dialogue between the 7th century and the 21st.
It highlights the scars, too. Those stones have seen centuries of sieges. But there's a more recent scar we have to talk about. You can't mention Mons without mentioning coal.
Right, the Bornage region. For a huge chunk of the 19th and 20th centuries, this was coal country. The city's identity was black soot, heavy industry.
And when the mines collapsed economically, it left a massive void, a different kind of darkness.
It did, and that's where the survival strategy part comes in.
Right.
The city had to completely reinvent itself.
And the pivot point was 2015, wasn't it? When Mons was named the European Capital of Culture.
That was the catalyst. They decided to pivot from an industrial identity to one built on technology and culture. They went from coal to code.
So Mons Lumiere's is basically the physical manifestation of that pivot. It's almost a metaphor for their recovery.
A perfect metaphor. They are literally turning the darkness, both the winter night and their industrial past, into a canvas for digital art. It proves the city is an emotional space, not just a museum of old wars.
It's this balance of cutting-edge tech with those ancient cobblestones. It shows the city is still alive, still adapting.
Exactly.
It really challenges that obsession we all have with speed and efficiency. The festival forces you to just wander slowly in the cold for hours to really see the place.
It does, and it makes you wonder, does facing the dark and the cold actually make you feel warmer towards your community if you have to freeze in the dark to really see your own city?
Yeah.
Maybe we're all usually moving a little too fast.
I love that thought. Something to chew on next time you're rushing home in the winter. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Stay curious.